My question, Jim, is, okay, it's a problem, we're on transport. Why is it such an issue to build a fence right along the border, 20 feet high and electrify it? That would stop 80%.
They would steal it.
They
will steal it. I go down there all the time, and they will steal many sections of it.
If you electrify it, they won't touch it.
They'll get an electrician to shut off the electricity.
See, I don't know the best way to secure the borders, but we gotta secure the borders. I mean, that's responsibility of the federal government to make sure. And it isn't just Mexicans coming across. There's Somalians. There's all sorts coming across now. We know terrorists are coming.
There's a lot of terrorists coming across, look like Mexicans.
And I think we have to profile illegals, and whatever that profile looks like, even if it looks like blue-eyed Swedes. We're so pacifistic we'd never get into it anyway, I guess. But nonetheless, I think, as Reagan said, we want to make sure that our gates to freedom and liberty swing wide and free for all who yearn to be free, to be Americans, to speak our language, and abide by our laws. And I would add to that and sign our guest book. Sign our guest book when they come across. And I think we have to find a way to do that. And I'm sure there are minds better than mine on how to create a fence, to create a barrier that makes it nigh unto impossible. Nothing is impossible, but nigh unto impossible for them to get across. But then, even probably more importantly, once we do, there has to be a mechanism by which we can assure the American people that the people who have come for work details, for certain immigration opportunities, green card, whatever, that we document them in a way that's non-counterfeit. And with the reality of what America is now, and that we have terrorists living amongst us, as evidenced too many times in recent weeks, I think we have to countenance all sorts of ideas that we never would have thought of before. Our country isn't the same country that we were raised in. And yet it's a country of freedom and opportunity, and we have to make sure it remains free and a place of opportunity for legal people. We'll go right here.
On healthcare, a couple other questions. We have greater freedom than a lot of places in the world to decide how we're going to have our healthcare, but it's one of the most expensive systems in the world. And one of the questions is, how can we reduce the unnecessary costs of healthcare? That's one thing. Without equitably, so it doesn't hurt physicians or healthcare providers or our patients or people who need it. And the other is, when we have employment that's based on healthcare coverage, and great numbers are out of work, and they lose that coverage. So you have the COBRA for a while, very expensive, and is there any alternative to that?
Well, again, if you went with my plan, that becomes your insurance policy. Unless, of course, you're an associated plan and your business is providing for it. But still, let's work to get away from third-party pay. Let's get to the fact that you own your plan, and you take it with you, and you go across state lines, and you can purchase across state lines, and you have a refundable tax credit that allows you to purchase it even if nobody else does. And you have a high-risk pool that takes care of pre-existing conditions. You offer all other alternatives. My brother, who had a pre-existing cancer issue, ultimately could not, after changing jobs, could not find insurance that he could afford. So they got insurance for the rest of his family. And then he went under, it's a cooperative, it's religious-based. A pastor has to sign a recommendation form, because generally if you're a religious person, you end up generally living a better life, and you abide by principles, and that's the actuarial assumptions. So he got on that, and it has worked so well for him, because when he goes and buys a surgery, he's all about a